I see articles being written about Jamaica militarizing. What nonsense. The truth is, we have been very unsophisticated in our security arrangements. So unsophisticated that criminals had greater capacity to create mayhem than the security forces had to bring them under control. And there are those who are vested in seeing our security forces underfunded, undersupported. No criminal organization must have more capabilities than our security forces.
Yes, JPU family, welcome to another episode of Jamaica Politics Uncovered. On the issue of national security, guys, we're all aware that we have been fighting this beast for decades. I want you guys to reflect with me today on this administration going far back as 5 years ago. Andrew Holness, after the election of 2020, came out and made a stunning admission that shocked even me at the time in saying, I'm sorry, Jamaica does not have the capability and capacity to deal with the level of crime that we have. And at the time, I said, wait a minute, you are the Prime Minister of Jamaica. You campaigned on crime. You said that you had the answer and the fix. And you're going to tell we now after one term that we don't have the capacity, we don't have the capability, then what are we going to do? You know, that was my position. And Andrew Holness admitted it after the election 2020. I'm going to let you hear it. And I think it's very important because of where we are right now. So after you hear that, guys, then I'm going to come back and let you hear what he said days ago. And we're going to reflect on where we are right now.
There are many Jamaicans who are probably feeling this sense of concern about where we are with crime. The truth is, as I've said on many occasions, that our crime situation has evolved currently to be over and above our established capacity to address it. And what we're doing now is, in an intense way, putting in place resources, systems, and personnel integrated with technology to address the crime situation. We have used one particular strategy of states of public emergency, which has helped significantly in attenuating, that is, reducing the frequency and intensity of crime, lowering the volume a little bit. And whilst we have this respite, we are using it to improve our police station and the conditions under which policemen work. We're using it to introduce greater technology, and that is going on. We have improved the fleet of the police force, including tracking devices on cars, and we're integrating more technology, including our cameras. We're doing everything possible to increase the capacity of the police force to be able to handle and reduce the level of crime that we have. And I think you're seeing it unfolding successfully in the number of gangs that we have been able to target and bring before the courts. This condition did not happen yesterday. It did not happen last year. This is an accumulation of over 30 years of underinvestment in our national security apparatus. It is going to take time to reduce it, but I am confident that we are at a good place now in terms of the investments that we have made, and those investments will bear fruit.
So, if I must be honest, it seems that in Andrew Holness's first term or leading up to his first term in office, he was naive. He thought that, we had the tools to deal with crime or we just were not doing it the right way. And then when he got in there, he saw what we were dealing with is that we probably had an outdated police force. We were outsourced by the gangs and all them something there. So him come to the realization and he had an opportunity to be honest about it, after his first term with the country. So now, 5 years after he made that statement and after 9 years in office, where are we today? The highlight of the status of crime in the country is that we are 35 to 38% down in homicides. And this is not only recognized in Jamaica by Jamaicans. We have Americans, Secretary of State, saying, listen, Jamaica's done well, bringing down their crime rate. So let me let you hear what Andrew Holness had to say just a few days ago.
From many of the talking heads and people who are seeking relevance in the conversation would seem to suggest as if the government doesn't know what it is doing. This administration in 2018 put out to the country a plan. It was called Plan Secure Jamaica. It's a comprehensive plan focused on 10 areas of national development. And that plan included the strengthening of the JDF to ensure that we have domain control. We can control our borders and our maritime space and provide effective support, latent support to the JCF. The plan required us increasing the number of security personnel that we have. So the complement of the JDF was increased from about 4,000. There are a little bit over 8,000 now. Same thing for the JCF. We moved the JCF from somewhere in the region of about 9,000 to now they are almost at their full complement of 14,000. We changed their communications, their transportation, their training, their doctrine, their leadership. The JCF today is not the JCF of 10 years ago. Totally different organization. Now I see articles being written about Jamaica militarizing. What nonsense. The truth is we have been very unsophisticated in our security arrangements. So unsophisticated that criminals had greater capacity to create mayhem than the security forces had to bring them under control. And there are those who are vested in seeing our security forces underfunded, undersupported. No criminal organization must have more capabilities than our security forces. And so under Plan Secure Jamaica, we put the money to back that. We weren't waiting for our overseas partners to say, here is something, or we'll help you with that. No. When it comes to security, you must take your own money and secure yourself. And so we took our own resources, the dividends of our good economic management. So for those people who talk about economy can keep you secure. Because no other government was able to do what we did in terms of the expenditure that we have made in the security forces. When we took over, we didn't have one operating offshore patrol vessel. Today we have several. The average person wouldn't understand the benefit of having that. But if we didn't have that, the influx of persons who would come in from other areas where there are challenges, for example in Haiti, would be huge. But because we made that investment well in advance of the situation in Haiti, Jamaica has consistent presence in those waters. You have been hearing about the number of interdictions at sea with drugs. That is what the security blanket gives you. You only know you're insecure when you don't have it. But when you have it, you take it for granted. But we made that investment. We made that investment as well in the intelligence capabilities of the forces. We are not going with a net to catch criminals. Our security strategies are sharpened because we have better intelligence. And more than that, you would have seen many crimes being committed. And within days, the police have been able to identify the perpetrator and bring them to justice because their investigative capacities have been increased as a result of the investments that we have made. For those who are late to the game, we have been at this for a very long time, making the investments, making the strategic moves, putting the right people in place to be able to be at this point where we can see results.
Well done, Prime Minister. What can I say? Well done. I thought you were out of your mind in 2020 when you came out and told the country, say, we don't have the capacity, we don't have the capability, we cannot do this with what we have. And you know what? Funnily enough, Peter Bunting did say it too. Yes, he did. The only thing with him now, him cry. And him never reassured the country that, he had other plans or was thinking about other ways. But Peter Bunting did say the police force and sitting where we have, we can't fix this. You understand? So this job is for a man Andrew Holness is a real man. Bunting never step up to the challenge as how he should have. And just for the record and for clarity, this job can be also for a woman who is capable. I don't want it to sound like a just man's job alone. We can have an effective female prime minister or national security minister who is just as capable. I was just making the point that between Andrew Holness and Peter Bunting, who had the responsibility of dealing with the country's national security, one was a man and one was not. We have managed to, beef up our own security in the country, and there's not a crime that we cannot solve in Jamaica today or investigate effectively and efficiently. This is Jamaica Politics Uncovered, guys. Thank you for watching. Catch you in the next video.
Uno call for Anjo to do something. Now the man do something.
For the second time this year, we have recorded the lowest number of murders in over 2 decades.
Message to go out to every little shutter, every little gunman, every little Don.
His voice broke during the declaration. He tried hard to control his emotions.
I'm not embarrassed to say that right now, as Minister of National Security, I'm going through a kind of a dark night of the soul, because we're trying very hard